Let's understand it, Pankaj. The liability of Atlas is not going to be there and it's going to be merged with Sun Pharma, right?
Right. So, Nikunj, we'll again have to, go into detail. So, there are two companies. One is Aditya Medisales, which is going to be merged, which is the distribution company. And it's a very, twisted sort of a release. So, I would like to just clarify and say that they would wind down the transaction, but whether they would merge, pay back, or how they would do it is something which I would like to go into detail. Probably next 5-10 minutes, I can give you more clarity.
Pankaj, we'll give you that much time to come back on those details, but prima facie, it seems like they're making the attempts to clear the air on all the aspects that were plaguing the markets, especially on the financial transactions with Suraksha Realty, where they're saying they do not have any financial transactions on record. No loans and guarantees were given to Suraksha Realty. Hetal Dalal, CEO of IIAS, joins in with a quick reaction to this. Hetal, does this clear the air completely on all the corporate governance issues that were impacting sentiment on the stock?
Look, I think clearly they've answered the important issues that the market has been worried about. I think the second whistleblower letter has prompted finally the company to come out with a much more tangible response than it did earlier. So to that extent, there is, at least market has got some clarity around it. I think the larger piece one still needs to question is the rather delayed reaction or the delayed clarification, right? This is coming in after the second whistleblower letter has put in, not the first. The first time around, again, the responses were fairly sort of vague. So I think what the investors now need to be worried, or at least be raising with the management, is really how, be concerned about is how proactive they're going to be on some of these issues. That's what I would say.
What is your sense? Do you think these moves by Sun Pharma would lay to rest all the allegations which were pointed out by the whistleblower?
Well, I've just heard the release.
Right.
I'm not sure
Hetal, I'm just going to come to you. Want Shriram's reaction on this. Shriram Subramanian?
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Good morning.
So I think at the end of the day, the question still begs as to what was the reason the 8,000 crores of domestic distribution business needed to be handled by Aditya Medisales when Sun Pharma is supposed to be a pharma company with a strong sales and distribution arm. So from that perspective, investors still will be wondering, was there something amiss and was there something hidden from them all these years? And so the loss of reputation, for sure, is something that Sun is not going to gain back overnight, despite these measures. So, and two is, for example, even the winding down of the 2,000 crore loans that they have been given to some Atlas Global. So what is the nature of that entity, Atlas Global, and what is the relationship of the promoters to Atlas Global is something that will keep lingering in the minds of investors. So from that perspective, and auditors, so even now, it doesn't categorically state that henceforth all subsidiaries will be audited by a big four, because a large portion of the revenues of Sun Pharma was audited by small, probably even related party, that Valia CA firm. So from that perspective, it will still leave some questions lingering. And the fact is that the loss of reputation is not going to be gained back overnight. And for sure, the whistleblower letters have made an impact, and Sun should have acted decisively even in December. They chose to ignore, or they chose to just give wishy-washy answers in the conference call, investor call of December 6th, and that has not helped the company.
Shriram, when auditors they signed on it, and when the glory days of Sun Pharma were there, it was supposed to be the jewel in the crown. Everyone applauded it for corporate governance. People said this is one company which cannot do anything wrong. Nobody was able to figure out, there were inter-party transactions.
Yeah.
How come all these things were ignored for so many years, again and again, by everyone on the street, including media, including analysts, including whistleblowers, and including auditors?
So this is not just in India. Globally, when the going is good, I mean, everything is hunky-dory. And may as well remember that the year Satyam went down, it won the Golden Peacock Award for good governance. And so from that perspective, history just repeats itself. So I think investors obviously need to dig in deep. And these issues, for example, Sun Pharma, we had paid 600,000 euros of commissions to Alok Sanghavi, son of Dilip Sanghavi, in 2011 or 12. And we had raised it. No investor had even chosen to raise it. And why should a 27-year-old boy get a 600,000 commission for being a non-executive director on Taro Pharma, which was its subsidiary? And so that was left unanswered. So those kind of questions keep coming up, and investors just ignore it when the stock is doing very good.
Okay, Shriram, thanks very much for giving us that clarification. Let me just go across to Yogesh and get his take, because, you know, this would essentially on